Caulking is a skill that we all can learn. It definitely takes some practice, but it's worth figuring out. I'm Dan Hansen, and this is a Minute at RepcoLite Paints, sponsored by Benjamin Moore. Now, if you haven't done a lot of caulking on projects in the past, it probably seems a little daunting. But the good news is, as we just said, you can learn this stuff. Tomorrow, we're going to get to some practical how-tos to help you with that. Today, we're going to focus on 3 key considerations that you want to keep in mind when you're starting a caulking project. All right, the first one is this. Make sure you caulk at the right time in the project. Now, there isn't complete agreement out there as to when that time is, but we feel the best time to caulk is after your primer and before your finish paint. Don't caulk after all the painting is done, because even though the caulk begins white, it usually yellows quite quickly, and that really isn't a good look around the baseboards in the room. So caulk after the primer and before the finish paint. Secondly, let the caulk dry before painting. There are certain caulks out there that you can paint over more quickly. Accelerator from Tower Sealants is one of them. You can spray over it immediately after you applied the caulk, or you can brush and roll over it after about 30 minutes. But most other caulks are going to need to cure out before you put paint on top of them. And if you rush it, you're going to end up with cracking and other problems. So make sure you let the caulk dry before painting it. The third thing you need to do, use the right caulk. There are a lot of options out there. Let us help you figure out which one's right. So just stop by any RepcoLite, tell us what you're working on. We'll make a recommendation. Now, next time, we'll get to those practical how-tos. Till then, I'm Dan Hansen, and that's a Minute at RepcoLite.